first choice. Now, Pete got the New York Times to buy into his BS. He even got them to write that his campaign has been aided by electability. But as Nate Silver points out, that's not even true. In a Quinnipiac poll from 2 weeks ago, only 2% of all Democratic voters thought that Pete Buttigieg had the best chance to beat Donald Trump in November, whereas Biden, Sanders, and Warren all broke double digits. The only people that take Pete Buttigieg seriously are the media, who love his model of politics, preaching change while not changing anything. And of course, brand consultants who think that Heartland yellow is a real color and the ticket to winning the presidency of the United States.
I
mean, how good was that application?
So perfect.
And it was the whole campaign laid out right there. He's so refreshingly salt of the earth. I'm like, oh, you know,
unapologetically substantive. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It's just all, this is what McKinsey teaches you to do. This is what the elite class teaches you to do, which is you pay lip service, you dress it up, you make it Heartland yellow and Rust Belt colors.
What was this quote? The shape of our democracy is the issue that affects all issues.
The shape of our democracy
doesn't mean anything.
It's meaningless. It is a meaningless term. And that's the other thing about his electability pitch. He's like, I want some Obama-Trump counties in Iowa, and that's why I'm going to win. First of all, no Democrat is going to win Iowa in 2020. But second of all, it's like, and you look at his head-to-head matchup under Trump in that state, whereas everywhere else, total collapse. But he didn't even get the first choice. He was the second choice consensus pick amongst people who weren't with Bernie in a stratified primary. That's not the core electability case that you want to be making. And it's just, he doesn't have any, look, he's doing what he needs to do, but he doesn't have a real path outside of New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Even in South Carolina. Even if he wins, he'll probably get, what, third in South Carolina with all of the momentum there. It really could be a battle for third and fourth, especially with Tom Steyer sitting there at second place.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just too perfect. Like the Heartland yellow thing and the Rust Belt red or whatever is just exactly what, if you asked a consultant in this town about the Heartland, what they would come up with, how to connect to the Heartland. And whatever you think about Pete, and I think you all know what we think about Pete, basically what the people in that clip where they were booing him and calling him WallStreet Pete think about him. There is no doubt that his coalition has been built on basically white, highly educated liberals. And the fact of the matter is, whatever you think of him, that is not going to be the path to electability. It's just not. You got to turn out the minority voters who stayed home for Hillary Clinton. You got to excite young people and get them out. And yes, you've got to win over some of the blue-collar workers who flipped from Obama to Trump. Pete has zero demonstrated ability to do that. I mean, zero. I know that they intentionally went after those Obama-Trump counties to try to have this talking point, but it's ultimately meaningless when you're talking about the context of Democratic primary.
The other reason they did that is because you can actually game the delegate system. By racking up more votes in those counties, despite the fact that there's less people, you can get more delegates. That's the other reason that they did that. I mean, it was a game to try and win the state delegate equivalents. It might have even worked, but we're never going to know. I mean, that is the main thing about the whole campaign and the pitch is you see over and over again in there, and that all these astroturfed, terms in which when he gets pressed on the issues, I mean, I think didn't a child ask him over the weekend to will you stop taking money from billionaires? He said no, flat out to a kid, which is kind of amazing because he's like, we can't tie our hands behind our backs.
The whole deficit hawk train, which you're like, what? How old are you actually? I mean, all these old ideas in this young man.
If you are a voter who actually votes on the deficit, please comment here and I'll have you on the show. I don't think they exist. I've never think. And this is my own criticism of the GOP, by the way.
Maybe the way back to power for the Democratic Party is to adopt the cast-off, rejected ideas that the Republican Party failed on. That's the way back to power.